Today we are delving into a crucial aspect of Buddhist teachings, understanding the importance of what we should avoid accepting from others. In a world filled with interactions and exchanges, it's essential to recognize that not everything offered to us is beneficial or conducive to our spiritual growth. Based on the wisdom of Buddhist philosophy, here are 5 things you should never receive from anyone. Let's explore these insights to help us lead a more mindful and peaceful life. 1. Negative energy and emotions. In Buddhism, the mind is akin to a garden. It must be carefully tended to flourish. Negative energy and emotions are like invasive weeds that can choke out the positive growth we strive to nurture. When we allow ourselves to absorb others' anger, jealousy, or bitterness, we jeopardize our inner peace and clarity, which are essential for spiritual development. Anger, for instance, is a powerful and destructive emotion. When someone directs anger toward us, it can be tempting to respond in kind or internalize that negativity. However, Buddhism teaches that anger should be met with compassion and understanding, not retaliation or acceptance. By refusing to absorb this negative energy, we protect our own mental and emotional well-being. Jealousy is another harmful emotion that can arise in our interactions. When others project their envy onto us, it can create a toxic environment. Accepting jealousy can lead to feelings of inadequacy or resentment. Instead, we should recognize the destructive nature of jealousy and maintain a compassionate distance from those who exhibit it. Bitterness often stems from unresolved pain and suffering. When we encounter someone who harbors bitterness, it's essential to empathize without internalizing their feelings. Bitterness can poison relationships and cloud our perspective, making it difficult to see the good in ourselves and others. By consciously choosing not to accept this bitterness, we maintain our ability to view the world through a lens of kindness and understanding. Furthermore, the Buddhist practice of mindfulness can help us remain aware of our emotional boundaries. By regularly meditating and reflecting on our emotional states, we become better equipped to identify when negative energies are encroaching on our peace. Mindfulness allows us to respond to negativity with equanimity, rather than reacting impulsively or internalizing harmful emotions. Ultimately, by not accepting negative energy and emotions from others, we protect our mental garden, allowing positive thoughts and feelings to flourish. This conscious rejection of negativity is not an act of avoidance, but a deliberate choice to cultivate a healthier and more harmonious inner life. Through this practice, we can maintain the clarity and tranquility necessary for our spiritual journey. 2. Unnecessary material possessions. In the material world, it's easy to become entangled in the pursuit of possessions. However, Buddhism teaches that true happiness and contentment come from within, not from external acquisitions. Accepting unnecessary material possessions can clutter our lives and minds, diverting our attention from what truly matters and hindering our spiritual progress. The allure of material wealth is strong. We live in a society that often equates success with the accumulation of goods. Yet this mindset contradicts the Buddhist principle of simplicity. When we accept unnecessary possessions, we risk becoming attached to them, which can lead to suffering. Attachment is a fundamental source of suffering in Buddhist teachings because it binds us to the transient and impermanent nature of material things. Moreover, the more we accumulate, the more our mind becomes preoccupied with maintaining and protecting these possessions. This can lead to anxiety and stress, detracting from our peace of mind. The energy and time spent on material concerns could instead be directed towards personal growth and spiritual development. By embracing simplicity and minimalism, we free ourselves from the burden of excess. This doesn't mean we must live in austerity, but rather, We should mindfully choose what we allow into our lives. Each possession should have a purpose and add genuine value. This mindful approach to material goods aligns with the Buddhist practice of mindful living, where each action and decision is made with awareness and intention. Additionally, excessive materialism can create a sense of competition and comparison with others, fostering feelings of envy and dissatisfaction. When we measure our worth by what we own, we are perpetually caught in a cycle of desire and discontent. In contrast, by focusing on inner wealth, such as compassion, wisdom, and kindness, we cultivate a sense of fulfillment that no material possession can provide. Charity and generosity are also central to Buddhist teachings. By giving away what we do not need, we practice detachment and cultivate a spirit of generosity. This act not only benefits others but also helps us to detach from the material world and fosters a sense of interconnectedness with all beings. In summary, by refraining from accepting unnecessary material possessions, we simplify our lives and reduce the mental clutter that can obstruct our spiritual path. This conscious choice allows us to focus on cultivating inner richness and living a life of purpose and meaning. 3. False praise and flattery. False praise and flattery are like sweet poison. They may taste pleasant initially but can cause harm in the long run. In Buddhism, the cultivation of humility and self-awareness is paramount. When we accept insincere compliments, we risk inflating our ego and creating a distorted self-image, which can divert us from our path of spiritual growth. Ego is a significant barrier to enlightenment. It creates a sense of separation from others and fosters desires that lead to suffering. False praise feeds the ego, making us more susceptible to pride and arrogance. These traits are contrary to the Buddhist virtues of humility and compassion. By remaining vigilant against flattery, we protect ourselves from these pitfalls and maintain a balanced perspective on our true nature. Flattery can also create unrealistic expectations and pressures. When we start to believe exaggerated compliments, we might feel compelled to live up to these false standards, leading to stress and dissatisfaction. This can divert our focus from genuine self-improvement and personal growth. Instead of seeking validation through others' words, we should strive for an honest and objective self-assessment. Moreover, false praise can erode trust in relationships. When we recognize that compliments are insincere, it can lead to feelings of mistrust and cynicism. Authentic relationships are built on honesty and mutual respect, not on superficial flattery. By rejecting insincere praise, we encourage more genuine and meaningful interactions with others. In Buddhist practice, self-awareness is developed through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment or judgment. By regularly engaging in mindfulness, we become more attuned to our true self, beyond the ego's illusions. This awareness enables us to discern between genuine praise and flattery, allowing us to accept constructive feedback while disregarding insincerity. Additionally, we should seek out constructive criticism rather than empty praise. Constructive feedback helps us to recognize our weaknesses and areas for improvement, fostering personal and spiritual growth. Embracing humility, we can learn and evolve, guided by the principles of right understanding and right effort. In essence, by not accepting false praise and flattery, we protect our ego from inflation and maintain a grounded, realistic self-view. This practice fosters humility, strengthens our relationships, and aligns us more closely with our spiritual aspirations. 4. Harmful advice or suggestions. Navigating life's journey involves making countless decisions, and often we turn to others for advice or suggestions. However, not all advice is beneficial, And in Buddhism, the principles of wisdom and right understanding are crucial. Accepting harmful advice or suggestions can lead us astray from our spiritual path and well-being. It is vital to critically evaluate the guidance we receive, ensuring it aligns with our values and promotes our personal and spiritual growth. The first step in avoiding harmful advice is cultivating discernment. Discernment, or wise judgment, is a fundamental aspect of Buddhist practice. It allows us to distinguish between what is wholesome and unwholesome, beneficial and detrimental. Through mindfulness and meditation, we develop the clarity to assess the advice we receive. This practice helps us remain centered and prevents us from being easily swayed by external influences. Harmful advice often stems from others' biases, fears, or misunderstandings. For instance, someone might suggest a course of action based on their own insecurities or misconceptions. Such advice, though well-intentioned, can lead us into situations that do not serve our highest good. By recognizing the source of advice and the context in which it is given, we can better evaluate its relevance and potential impact on our lives. Moreover, societal norms and cultural expectations can heavily influence the advice we receive. These norms often emphasize material success, social status, or conformity, which may not align with our spiritual goals. Buddhist teachings encourage us to look beyond superficial measures of success and focus on inner fulfillment and ethical living. By questioning and critically assessing advice that promotes conventional achievements over spiritual well-being, we can stay true to our values and purpose. Another crucial aspect is understanding our own motivations and desires. Sometimes we might be inclined to accept harmful advice because it aligns with our immediate desires or offers an easy way out of a challenging situation. However, true wisdom lies in seeing beyond immediate gratification and considering the long-term consequences of our actions. By maintaining a clear vision of our goals and values, we can resist the temptation to take shortcuts that ultimately lead us away from our spiritual path. Additionally, peer pressure and the desire for social acceptance can make us susceptible to harmful suggestions. In a quest to fit in or gain approval, we might follow advice that contradicts our inner truth. Buddhism teaches the importance of being true to oneself and not being swayed by external validation. By cultivating inner strength and confidence, we can make decisions that honor our authentic self, even in the face of social pressure. Buddhist philosophy also emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with wise and virtuous companions. The people we associate with can greatly influence our thoughts and actions. By seeking the company of those who share our values and encourage our growth, we can create an environment conducive to receiving beneficial advice. These companions can provide us with insights that resonate with our spiritual path and support our well-being. Furthermore, learning to trust our intuition is essential in discerning harmful advice. Intuition, or inner knowing, often provides us with subtle signals about the right course of action. By cultivating mindfulness and connecting with our inner wisdom, we can develop a stronger sense of intuition. This intuitive guidance can serve as a valuable compass, helping us navigate complex decisions and avoid harmful suggestions. In situations where advice seems ambiguous, it is helpful to seek multiple perspectives before making a decision. Consulting a variety of trusted sources can provide a more comprehensive understanding of the issue at hand. This practice aligns with the Buddhist principle of right understanding, which involves seeing things as they truly are, without distortion or bias. Finally, it is important to take full responsibility for our decisions. Blaming others for the consequences of following harmful advice undermines our autonomy and growth. By acknowledging our role in decision-making, we empower ourselves to learn from our experiences and make wiser choices in the future. 5. Unwanted responsibilities and burdens. Life is filled with responsibilities, and while many are necessary and beneficial, taking on unwanted responsibilities and burdens can lead to stress, burnout, and distraction from our spiritual path. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of balance, mindful living, and understanding our limits. By recognizing and setting boundaries around the responsibilities we accept, we can maintain our well-being and stay focused on our spiritual journey. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is the middle way, which advocates for a balanced approach to life. This principle can be applied to how we manage responsibilities. Overburdening ourselves disrupts this balance, leading to physical and mental exhaustion. When we accept more than we can handle, we compromise our ability to fulfill our commitments effectively, which can result in guilt, frustration, and a diminished quality of life. Mindful living, a core Buddhist practice, involves being fully present and aware of our actions and decisions. When we are mindful, we can assess whether a particular responsibility aligns with our values and capabilities. This awareness helps us to make conscious choices about what we take on, ensuring that our actions are intentional and not driven by external pressures or obligations. Unwanted responsibilities often arise from a sense of duty or the desire to please others. While helping others is a noble act, it is important to distinguish between healthy support and overextending ourselves. In Buddhism, the practice of compassionate detachment teaches us to care for others without losing ourselves in the process. This means recognizing when a responsibility is beyond our capacity and being honest about our limitations. Setting healthy boundaries is essential in managing responsibilities. Boundaries protect our time, energy, and well-being. They allow us to prioritize tasks that are meaningful and in line with our spiritual goals. Establishing boundaries requires clear communication and the courage to say no when necessary. This might involve declining additional work assignments, social obligations, or family duties that exceed our limits. Moreover, the practice of self-compassion is crucial when setting boundaries. We must acknowledge that we cannot do everything and that it is okay to prioritize our needs. Self-compassion allows us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when we face pressure to take on more than we can handle. By nurturing ourselves, we enhance our capacity to contribute positively to others without compromising our well-being. Another aspect to consider is the impact of unwanted responsibilities on our mental and emotional health. Carrying burdens that do not belong to us can lead to stress, anxiety, and even resentment. These negative emotions can cloud our judgment and hinder our spiritual practice. By releasing responsibilities that are not ours to bear, we create space for inner peace and clarity, enabling us to engage more fully in our spiritual pursuits. Buddhism also teaches the importance of non-attachment. This principle can be applied to our responsibilities by understanding that we are not defined by our roles or duties. Non-attachment helps us to let go of the need for external validation and to focus on what truly matters. It encourages us to detach from the societal expectations that pressure us to overcommit and instead align our actions with our authentic self. Delegation is another practical strategy for managing responsibilities. By sharing tasks with others, we distribute the workload more evenly and create opportunities for collaboration and mutual support. Delegation fosters a sense of community and interdependence, which is in harmony with the Buddhist concept of interconnectedness. It allows us to contribute effectively without being overwhelmed. Additionally, regular reflection and self-assessment can help us to evaluate our responsibilities. Taking time to reflect on our commitments and their impact on our lives enables us to make adjustments as needed. This practice aligns with the Buddhist principle of right effort, which involves directing our energy towards actions that promote well-being and spiritual growth. Ultimately, by avoiding unwanted responsibilities and burdens, we honor our limits and create a more balanced and fulfilling life. This conscious approach allows us to dedicate our time and energy to what truly matters, fostering a sense of purpose and harmony. In doing so, we can navigate our spiritual path with clarity, resilience, and a deep sense of inner peace.